happens out there. Doesn't matter. Keep your swagger. Keep your swagger.
Hey, welcome into the Five Hole Fantasy Hockey Podcast. We are your hosts, O'Gratton, Alan, and Jay. We are here with the Week 24 script, the last one of the season. Teams and streams of targeting, news and updates from around the league. But Jay, talk about a plot twist. Did you hear about the woman who gave birth last night at Rogers Place?
Pray do tell, Alan.
Middle of a hockey game, like just woman goes into labor. Like in the I couldn't find any updates, but it sounds like baby was born right there. Like, I hope mother and baby are okay. Like, Jack and Mitch are solid names, by the way. But yeah, hopefully everyone is okay. But what a crazy time at Rogers Place last night.
Holy moly, bully. You know it's going to go both ways. People will forget about it if the Oilers lose, and if the Oilers win, this is going to be like rolled into mantra for like the rest of time if the Oilers end up hoisting the ship this year.
It's like, yeah, don't go with Connor. Jack and Mitch are great names. Before we get into the show, if you're not already, it's pretty much the end of the season, but hey, you can still get plugged into our Twitter or Discord if you're playing this week. If you have questions pop up, feel free to ask us. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube or wherever you get your fine podcasts from. But yeah, as moving into storylines here, this happened only a couple hours, I think, around noon today. Big story of today, Patrick Waugh out for Long Island. Pete DeBoer is now the new head coach. Get ready for even time on ice amongst forwards. But yeah, the Isles only have 4 games left, and they're sitting third in the Metro right now. But you got the Flyers, the Jackets, the Capitals, all within 2 points back, and they all have at least 1 game in hand against them. But I mean, just kind of digging into his coaching style while he was in Dallas, but this could be good news for Sorokin, as if he wasn't already an elite goaltender. DeBoer tends to focus on limiting high-quality chances against and shot quality suppression. But will this affect Schaefer? I guess if you were lucky enough to get him this year, congratulations, but not really. Will this affect Schaefer? I mean, hopefully not. DeBoer is okay with activating the D to jump in on offense when appropriate. I don't know, Jay. With only 4 games left in the season, I've already dropped Barzal in like a last-ditch move. Like, do you think we really see any bump from our Isles guys the rest of the way out here?
Yeah, I guess the coaching change wouldn't shift. Like, let's say the schedule screamed Isles. You still go to the Isles, right? Like, regardless. But it is a really extreme version of a new coach bump. Like, I think this Allen might be the latest I've ever seen an attempt at a
new coach bump. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, just when I thought Vegas was silly, Long Island gets even sillier. Moving into injuries, Victor Hedman was officially placed on LTIR. I think it was retroactive. The soonest he could be back is the 13th, which I think is the game against the Red Wings. In a redraft league, if you were waiting for a sign from the universe, I'd say this is it. Like, even if he comes back, he's not getting power play 1. He's getting third pairing minutes. Just drop. Keeper league, I don't know what to tell you. That could be interesting come next season, depending on what happens with Darren Radish.
Which I would assume, Alan, like, Darren Radish is not going to, like, Darren Radish isn't going to be the guy that signs Hedman, right? Like,
I don't know. I don't know if he. I mean, because again, there's precedent for this. There was that whole season where Hedman was apparently playing through something, and they gave all that power play time to Sergachev. But then they brought in, I think it was Blashill. I think Blashill undid that, allegedly. I don't know. All I know is Sergachev did not agree with some of the moves Blashill made when he came in. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if if Radish, because he's UFA after the season, if he does go anywhere, I don't think he'll get the bag. I mean, it seems like the consensus out there is he is who he has been this season because of the players around him: Kucherov, Point, Jake Gensel. So yeah, I don't know what happens. It wouldn't surprise me if he stayed in Tampa, but it also wouldn't surprise me if there was someone out there who wants to overpay him.
Well, I'm just saying, like, how many years does Hedman still have, right? Like, I think, isn't Hedman still like
I
2
think
or
he's
3 years?
kind of a short-term deal, yeah. But I don't know, man. It sounds like there's a lot going on with taking the indefinite leave of absence. I mean, that's not,
Yeah.
but like the elbow surgery, the groin injury, like even if he does come back, like what is he really going to do fantasy wise, and then real hockey
Could
wise?
could they put him? Could they put him on Robidas Island? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is he
If that
eligible
happens,
for
it
like forever
honestly wouldn't
skate
surprise
into
me.
the
Skate off and into the
Right.
sunset.
um
Yeah. I don't think I have anything else here. We can move on. Jake Sanderson for the Senators did return yesterday. Thank goodness. I don't think it helped them at all. I think they still got caved in yesterday. Checking that score right now. Oh, come on. Yes, they got caved in against the
Minnesota
Wild
still
4-1.
bashed their skulls in. Yeah.
Which interestingly enough, like right before sit start, I had seen a statistic that with Sanderson and Shabbat out, like their goals per 60 had declined. Again, it didn't help them yesterday. I don't know, man. As far as rest of the season, I mean, can we expect a whole lot from the Sens? I know they're still in it, but I don't know. They just seem kind of checked out.
Yeah. I was gonna say too, like for Philly, it seems like no one's been talking about Philly. But I'm just looking at like the standings together and like
they're quietly on
goodness.
like a nice little run there.
1 point out, games in hand. I do remember reading about it and hearing that Philly has like 0 tiebreakers, like literally of all the teams in the race. Every single tiebreaker, I think, goes against Philly. So I think Philly has to clear them. Like they have to be 1 point minimum clear above all of their teams. But I don't know. Like it's
we'll
almost
do with
like
Tyson Forrester back and Martone in the lineup. Their wing depth is unreal. Like I absolutely feel like they could sneak in.
Yeah, and I would even say too, like looking at all remaining teams, like Columbus is going. This seems to have happened 2 years in a row now, which is unfortunate. But it seems like Columbus is getting cold right at the wrong time again.
God, yeah.
But yeah, like everyone's talked about how Ottawa's heating up at the right time, but I'm like, no one's mentioned how Philly is heating up at the right time as well. I think it's a broken record with Detroit. I don't know what's happening there. I think it's really unfortunate. I
could have used a big game from John Gibson yesterday. It didn't happen.
Sure.
Apparently, the solution was to bench him and then play Wedgwood and Hellebuck. Apparently, at least I got the Wedgwood shutout yesterday. But next up, yes, I'm including this because there was at least one question in Discord about this yesterday. Pyotr Kochetkov of the Carolina Hurricanes was a partial participant at practice yesterday. Now, remember, his original timeline was he's just done for the season, had hip surgery, pretty big deal, especially for a goalie. But typical timeline here is to resume on ice activity after about 3 to 5 months, which we're right on track there, and then return to play in 5 to 7 months. It can take up to a year to completely recover from this. Sometimes these goalies never do. I mean, like Rask and Price took a minute, and even Carey Price struggled. His returns were kind of intermittent. Corey Schneider, multiple hip surgeries, and was just never the same, never as dominant there. But I think Carolina is one of the teams that also just doesn't have a ton of games left. So in a redraft league, well, no one really has a ton of games left. Carolina, okay, 5 games left on the season. They're middle of the pack. But if he does play, I am in a redraft league. I'm absolutely not interested. And honestly, even looking forward to next season, I am okay to not touch Peter Kochekov at all.
And I think the big thing with Carolina always was that the value was not always in the goalie that was the first goalie, but always the goalie that was the second goalie who was giving you more games than you'd expect a backup to give you, right? Like how many guys drafting Anderson or Kochekov in seasons past were saying, yeah, I drafted this guy with high draft capital and gave me everything he got. Like that's not where the value of Carolina goalies ever was. Like it always was the fact that the goalie you never heard about. This season it was Busi. I think Kochekov was the season before. Those were the kind of guys that gave you immense value from an undrafted spot. That's where it was.
Or even this season, I mean, he wasn't great to start the season, but I took Freddie as my third goalie in the listener league just because it was when he plays, he's really good. But yeah, he'll get injured at some point, no question. But it does sound like he's moving on after the season. I don't know where he could probably sign, but it does sound like he wants to kind of move on. But last up here, Cale Makar, the salad boy, to be reevaluated on Tuesday. It does appear that Devontae's is the new power play 1 quarterback. Now, Jay, Colorado is one of the, I'm spoiling the show a little bit here, but Colorado is one of the 2 teams I could recommend as a week-long hold coming up here, or a full matchup hold. Do we think that Devontae's is worth a pickup?
I do. I definitely honestly think I would trust Devontae's way more than what did Kevin say on Banger Match yesterday? It was so funny. It was so true. Where it was basically like, do I really want to see myself at the end of a season like trusting Sam Malinsky, to score a couple goals or something? And
right.
it was just factual, right? Like,
hey, he scored a couple goals for me this week, and I appreciate his service.
Absolutely. But for Colorado, like, oh my God, that is like Devon Taves. Yes, I would way rather a Devon Taves than Sam Malinsky.
I feel like this is act quickly. Supplies won't last. But yeah, looking ahead at the schedule, this is in Yahoo. It is a week and a half. Fantrax does let you kind of customize it a little. But for the first part, it's a week like normal. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday are your off days. Of note, Friday, no one plays. I don't know. Like, I couldn't find a reason. It seemed to be just a scheduling fluke. Like, because today's Easter, so it couldn't possibly be because of Good Friday. But Monday in this first part, you have 4 games. Wednesday 3, Sunday 6, and then your Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday are like the same. The usual 11, 14, 15 games. Now, where it gets kind of funky is this back half, this like last 4 days of the season. Monday and Tuesday are technically both on days, but it's 9 and 10 games. And then Wednesday, Thursday to end the season, you got 6 games a day there. I would just set your lineup and see like if you truly have a packed schedule that Monday, Tuesday, because that could affect your streams. But best schedules here, as you can see, hopefully you can see this. I know this grid's kind of tiny, but games played leaders, Seattle and San Jose both have 7 games. And then those 2 teams are also some of the off night leaders. San Jose, 7 games, 4 off nights. Seattle, 7 games, 3 off nights. And then we're also worth mentioning Buffalo, only 5 games, but 3 off nights. And then easiest schedules. I do like San Jose's schedule there. They have Chicago twice. Edmonton, who we still learned last night, is still letting in goals. Anaheim, Winnipeg, Vancouver, and Nashville. Worst schedules. So you got, like we mentioned on the shutdown shift last week, you got Pittsburgh, the Islanders, and Boston. 4 games, 1 off night. And then Washington and New York Rangers have 4 games, 2 off nights. Now, tough schedules. A double reason to kind of maybe jettison some of these Rangers players. New York Rangers, they see Buffalo, Dallas, and then the 2 Florida teams to round out their season. And then Calgary, I mean, that's a low bar, though. They face Dallas, Colorado twice, Seattle, Utah, LA. I think probably everyone on that team is droppable, Jay. I don't think there's anyone, unless you're a very, very, very deep league, I don't think there's anyone Calgary worth hanging on to rest of the way out.
Yeah, Alan, honestly, when you're saying like Calgary, like who are we even talking about here? I'm like clicking through and I'm like, holy smokes, like some of the names. I guess there are two parts, right? Like one, there's the names that don't come to mind, and two, like even the names that do come to mind. Are we really talking about a Blake Coleman? You know, like
Yeah, I mean maybe in a categories league, but other than that, not really. Even though
it's
he's getting
brutal.
top line, Mikhail Backlund top line, I'm good. Especially with Uyghur gone, I really don't think there's much rosterable there.
I think their top scorer is now top. It's a joint top scoring setup between Backlund and Frost. They both have 41. Like it is brutal.
Even then, I would say they're plenty droppable, especially for some of these other teams. But strategy here, I'd say double check how this week kind of plays out in your league. Fantrax does allow for customization, and thankfully, Jay let me know that the finals in the league we're in is only the Monday to Sunday. It's not the full week and a half, but Yahoo, I think, locks you in. I don't think they give you that much customization there. If you are playing Fantrax and you are playing all the way out, you might get your ads replenished on the 13th. I know that during the Olympic break, it kind of replenished every calendar week. So that was a nice time to do some roster cleanup there. Yahoo, you're stuck with the same ads for that entire period. So Jay, I divided the streamers here, and I feel like this is probably the, how we always split the schedule up here. I have the streams divided up into holds for the full matchup, kind of a week, first half of the week streams, and then that kind of Monday on streams. I think that's a good division point, especially if no one playing Friday.
Yeah, I want to say like it's difficult because right now there's only two teams that can have that off night juiciness, right?
Yeah.
So I would be tempted right now for any listeners listening, especially either if they're listening live now or if it releases tomorrow. Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is you want to snag with, I guess, any ads that you can still hold over from this. I guess now if you're listening, it must be the semifinal week for you. You would be wanting to get any of those Sharks or Sabres now with current week's ads, and then saving, I guess, additional ads for anything, I think, Wednesday onward.
Agreed.
Right? So that's kind of your main play. Everything else afterwards on Thursday is a Thursday morning. You are reassessing from that point.
Yeah. Now, and now it's hard because you could even say Seattle is technically like a full week hold, but I mean, they don't have the Wednesday, and I just don't like their matchups. You get Winnipeg and Minnesota, Vegas, who is now 3-0 with the coaching change. Calgary. Okay. That's a very winnable game. Then you have LA, Vegas again, and then Colorado. I don't know if Seattle we can really recommend as like the top end streamers.
I mean, if we were gonna say Seattle, like the other one I would say too is like you might as well throw Nashville and Tampa in there too, where they also have those back-to-backs and those early games and days. But for the most part, my only issue is that I don't think there's always a good team to target in terms of early pre-week start ads, and then I guess rounding out into the middle of the week, continuing to hold. They don't really exist in every single team. So I would say like the two that I would say for sure, Sharks and Sabres. They just have the off nights. They're easy to go. I don't know if there are good guys to suggest. Like I'm looking here too, Alan, and I'm like, we're kind of diving in.
Or
well, those two first. I was saying like the Sharks and the
Sharks. Honestly, so it's a 10-team league, so there are some guys out on the wire this crazy, but Will Smith is actually available in this league where I'm most likely going to the finals. I was looking at him. So I would say if he's available, I feel like he is kind of a priority ad. But yeah, just San Jose here. They have some of the most games played, the off nights, the matchups, and the streamable guys. My only red flag here with the Sharks is they're tied for fourth worst in goals for per game over the last 2 weeks, but their shooting percentage is bottom 10, so they could be due. But yeah, Will Smith I like. Dmitry Orlov is only 17%, power play one guy. Nice streamable bodies here. Alex Wenberg, only 10% owned. He's on power play 1. And I think he's actually got points in his last few. Like, it's significant. Obviously Celebrini, like if you have him, you're looking real pretty for this coming week. But I think, how am I? Alex, Wenberg has 8 points in his last 6. And then who's the other guy I had here? Yeah, Eklund, Chernyshov. Like, basically, you just want the guys that surround Celebrini.
It is actually insane if they do make the playoffs, Alan. Like, this is such a carry job by
Celebrini. Good God, like he should be a lock for the Heart if they make the playoffs.
It is actually insane. Like, anyways, not the previous, like currently, where is he at? 106. The next highest guy is, I think, on his team at 54.
Yeah, he's starting to lap everyone. It's insane.
It's insane. It's actually nuts. And I hope they do it in the sense for the league. Like, it's just a cool story, a cool story to follow along. But crucially for you, listener, in this season, there are a bunch of guys around. Like Wenberg that Alan just mentioned, that's a 10% ownership. Like, no one has it.
Yeah, and it's one of the few ways to get Monday, Wednesday to start the week, skipping that. Yeah, because I'm sure Wenberg center only, like, definitely should have trouble fitting him in Monday, Wednesday.
And another guy, I think you mentioned him previously too, and like he's only at 17% ownership, like Dmitry Orlov. Like, this is kind of a like D1 PP1 just hanging around. He plays on the power. It
doesn't seem like they're giving it back to Klingberg at all. So I'd say if you can't get Will Smith, I'd say Orlov probably be the priority ad here.
You basically, listener, like the most important thing to win the next week for the first part, at least, is like until it gets to our weekend preview, and then you can listen along then too. But like, basically, if you hold a slew of Sharks coming into Monday tomorrow, you should be good for at least the first half of the week, theoretically.
Yeah, because let me check out how they end the season there. So they got the Monday, which is kind of a deceptive day, but then they go back-to-back Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, I had Sharks, definitely a team you can, if you play the full week and a half, absolutely week-long hold. The other team I have here is Colorado. If any of these guys are available, like, scoop them up. Highest goals for per game over the last 2 weeks. That might be skewed by the Calgary and Vancouver games, but they're definitely good. Even their power play is like kind of top. It's like 5 or 6 like the last couple of weeks. Like, they're making a rebound here. But it's really just go check
literally
the bottom
after being literally the worst power play all season, which is insane to say aloud. Was Kadri the reason? Like, please don't tell me Kadri was the only reason that their power play.
It's possible. It's possible. I didn't read about any staffing changes, so it could just be that Kadri came in and was exactly what they needed.
It's incredible.
But yeah, pretty much all these guys are just go check. But like we said, kind of in the injury section, if Devon Toews is available, I would say Devon Toews, then Dmitry Orlov. Would you agree? I mean, yeah, because Colorado, I don't think they have 7 games.
I would.
6, and he's a D-man, so you should, 6 games. But as a D-man, you should be able to have an easier time fitting him in on the busy days. Plus, it's Colorado, so you want that offense.
I think I would rather have Orlov at this point. Like,
just for one extra game.
Well, it's more so that Taves and Malinsky, that whole setup, I'm not fully bought into either of those guys.
Okay, so you're saying certainty is what you're after.
I buy into the idea. Like, Orlov isn't technically a certainty either, right? Like, it is theoretically possible, but I buy into the certainty of Orlov way more than the certainty of either Taves or Malinsky.
Okay. Yeah. And then Lehkonen and Shushkin, they're both around 50-55%. Landeskog, I think yesterday was sitting at 40. Even depth guys like Parker Kelly, who I don't know, I used an add-on. He did something for me this week. Jack Drury, those guys are pitching in. But yeah, for part 1, and Jay brought it up, Buffalo, they do have, they're one of the few teams that have that Monday, Wednesday. I mean, their goals for per game are middle of the pack, and they've seemed like they're sliding a bit. I think they got just beat down by the Capitals last night. But I like their Monday, Wednesday, Thursday to start the matchup. And they have some nice opponents, Rangers and Blue Jackets in there. But Blue Jackets, I don't know. You might want to watch out. It sounded like they had like a players only meeting after, well, not a players, but a team meeting after last night's loss, 2-1 loss to Winnipeg. But Buffalo, I mean, Josh Norris, 3 points in his last 7, center only, but she should have no problem getting him on Monday, Wednesday. Quinn Benson, or, Jack Quinn, Benson, and Peyton Krebs. Like, they're the hot plays right now, widely available. Quinn and Krebs both have 5 points and 7. Benson's got 6 points and 7. I don't know, Jay. I don't think I'm really super interested in any of their D-men at all.
No, I think the real play is if you like Buffalo is only really relevant if you run out of guys to grab on the Sharks. And so I think if you have Sharks available, just go for the Sharks first. I'm not saying, like, mind you, maybe you're successful now. Now that I say this, then you grab Zucker, you grab, Quinn, and then you're like, oh yeah, you're laughing to the bank when they score hat tricks. Like, could happen. But no,
Zucker, yeah. I guess that'd be another player to see if he is available. Yeah, I mean,
Norris too, right? I guess we mentioned Norris.
Yes, yeah, Josh Norris. But yeah, center only, should be able to fit him in Monday, Wednesday, no problem. Who else? I don't think there's really anyone else. Yeah, I mean, you could grab guys from like Nashville or Tampa for the spot start Monday, but yeah, or even Winnipeg. But I don't know. I'd say to maximize those ads, Buffalo probably the only team in kind of like that first half. So second half, kind of Sunday to the end of the season, I like Anaheim. Top 10 in goals for per game the last 2 weeks with a shooting percentage around middle of the pack. So this could be somewhat sustainable here. Usual suspects. I just go check and see if the guys like Troy Terry, Beckett Senek, and Mikhail Granlund are available. Granlund's cooled off. I foresaw that happening and was glad that my opponent picked him up instead of me. I went Troy Terry and was very happy with that. But yeah, Jay, anyone else from we got Gudis out right now, so we can't pick him up in like categories, bangers, points leagues.
Yeah, I mean, geez, so many of the usual suspects too, right? Like Kreider is still getting power play 1. Geez, is Killorn on line 1 now? Christ. Okay.
I think that happened. Yeah, I think that happened yesterday.
Yeah, aside from that, I think Anaheim's also in a not even like a bit of a slump, right? Like Anaheim has definitely lost a fair few games, and it's almost a hilarity to think that even after losing 5 straight,
are they still top of the division? I was just about to check that actually.
They're tied. They're tied with the Oil. So I think they don't have the regulation wins or the regulation overtime wins to beat the tiebreaker. But yeah, it's disgusting, Alan. Oh my goodness. The fact
NHL has Edmonton on top, so they must have the tiebreaker.
But I mean, like, it's crazy to think of all 3 of those teams. All 3 of those teams would be out of the playoffs in the East right now.
Oh yeah. The East is the freaking Thunderdome. Like it's going to be like, and this is homerism here, I'm sure, but it'll be like the season that Tampa made it all the way to the finals against the Avs, but it was like the road that Tampa had to take. They had to face like 350 win teams. Right. Can you really say that about the West?
And Tampa played like game 7s, didn't they? I mean, they did the classic game 7 win against Toronto for sure. But then I'm trying to remember like the other series that Tampa went through. I think it was also like
it was Florida who won the President's Trophy that season, swept them. And then I forget who Eastern Conference Finals was against the Rangers. Right. Where that was looking grim for a while. I had to flip my superstition and like not watch the games.
I love it. But it's craziness. You're right, Alan, to describe. Like, this is going to be the same issue in the West on the other side, right? Where in the Pacific, you're going to come up with a docile house cat coming out of there. And then on the other side, it's like, hey, who are we facing? And the Central is just like
whoever wins between probably the Stars and the Avs.
But it's craziness. Like, every one of those teams, even Minnesota, I think Minnesota would top. Oh, sorry. I guess they wouldn't top any of the other divisions, but they would still definitely top the Pacific division, right? Like, so it's brutal to see that this one Central division has 3 teams that would crunch pretty much any other division, but then only one of them's coming out alive into the conference final, which is nuts to say aloud.
Right. That's why I'm more and more, like the internet has beaten me down, and I'm kind of for that 1 through 8 seeding in the conferences.
I know what you mean. Just to give and also just to give a little bit of more spiciness for, like
Yeah.
existing matchups. Lord goodness, like for the longest time, I didn't know any other team existed aside from Boston. Like it was just like those are the only two teams that would meet every single year. But side note, talking about fantasy, is just this Pacific Division is just an interesting dynamic and matchup where you look at all the players that are part and parcel with, the Anaheim Ducks. Losing 5 in a row, like every one of these guys, I'm just pulling up their like stats for the past few games, right? Like a lot of their losses involve them scoring, but it's like 2-3 goals, right? So it is kind of a hit and miss to see if any of those guys end up being part of the goals. They don't seem to roll, I guess, the same power play ones either. So then it does seem like they do kind of mix and match because they do have a fair amount on that top 6, even I would say top 9 that can segue in. I am less enthused, if possible, to grab as many of the Anaheim Ducks.
Okay.
But having said that, Alan, I mean, I don't know. Like I'm looking at that schedule, and I guess the Anaheim Ducks do have the only, like, actually, I was going to say on the second half of it, do we kind of think that the Sharks are kind of just worth the longer holds as opposed to...
I do. Yeah, and that's
it's...
And again, Seattle also kind of they have 7 games, but I would much rather grab a Shark than, I don't know, like Bobby McMahon's been okay. Seattle's just not scoring very much, and they kind of need to stay alive.
Yeah. I'm really starting to think that it might be worth the angle where because I do know where we're going with the Anaheim pick too, Alan. Like I know that the idea is this team's gone into playoff pole position, not because they were crushing opponents left, right, and center, but they're winning their opportune games, right? So when we see that juicy, Vancouver game on Saturday, we're like, when are they going to get the damn points, Alan? They're not going to say
biggest trap game ever. Thanks, Abs. Right. Holy crap. But yeah, and then probably the only other team I really kind of like for this back half year, and I got the game grid up now because it's a less of the full week. So LA, I know they're not scoring like a ton still, but I do like their matchups. They got Seattle, Vancouver, Calgary. Kopitar, 31% owned, a lot out there, or a lot of shares out there. Monday, Tuesday, technically still busy, but just double check if you can fit a center in. And Alex Laferriere, obviously probably the only real pickup there.
Yeah, it's dire, Alan. It is a dire experience at the moment. I mean, I'm trying to even look for like I guess Kopitar has dropped to 30% too.
Yeah.
Like, do we think Kopitar is kind of a?
He's playing with the Panarin at both, even and power play strengths. So that's probably the guy I'd go to if you can fit him in Monday, Tuesday. That seems to be like the popular schedule here is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. I mean, and again, you got Seattle, San Jose, they're out there.
Geez,
yeah,
Alan,
not too many teams are back-to-back Wednesday, Thursday.
Just a throw out there, but any Kaprizov holders this season? I know he got injured last in 2025's playoffs, and everyone wrote him off. I think he just got a hat trick right now, Alan. Holy smokes.
Don't tell me that. Oh gosh, darn it! That's who I'm playing. I mean, I have a significant lead, but a hat trick from Kaprizov does not help me, Jay.
Does not help. Oh my goodness.
It does not help me. Did you put points in here for hat tricks? I hope not.
I think our super baggers does have crazy.
Oh my gosh.
We'll see. It is disgusting.
Because I know there's weird points in this league that Jay set up. Like Fantrax lets you do just crazy stuff. Like I've seen 1 point for scoring the first goal in a game.
Right.
The skaters get shutout points.
Yes.
Like it's nuts.
Any listeners out there, feel free to obviously reach out or whatnot. But yeah, I love having scales and statistics that actually reward in life,
Just luck.
in game. Well,
Pure luck.
you want reasonable stuff, right? Like a shutout isn't just a goalie moving his groins left, right, and center, right? Like your team's doing shit too to make sure you get your shutout. I want to give them credit. Anyways, that aside, but yeah, it's been a crazy time trying to pick up guys from LA, Allen. Like, how in the world do we get Artemi Panarin? You know, he's doing Artemi Panarin things, but like, they got to get him to like the Colorado Avalanche or something. You know what I mean? I know we were talking about too many chefs in the kitchen, but like,
that was the whole thing. Was that trade was up to him? Like there were only a couple teams. Well, it was a matter of like which teams were actually going to make an offer on him, but he really just wanted to go somewhere he could re-sign in, and LA just won out. Like, I don't know. I don't like it either.
This guy only wants to go to the big cities in the USA. That's his big issue, to be honest.
Well, I remember that was part of the reason why he signed in New York as a free agent was his, I think it was girlfriend at the time. I think they're married now. His girlfriend / fiance kind of wanted to go somewhere where she could advance her modeling career. So New York it was. Which,
to the surprise and chagrin of everyone, Columbus, Ohio seemed to be like not high on her list, which I was saying like
models in Columbus, Ohio.
Exactly. But yeah, just like you look at the rest of the team, and I'm looking for the guys that would provide that sort of scoring touch. And I'm like, Kempe, yeah. And then you hear the voice drop, and it's like, God damn it, like, Panarin, Breadman, just go somewhere where you're fed and it's a buffet. You know, like you don't have to be like deciding all these different things. Anyways, now we're stuck with great schedules. And now we're stuck saying, pick up Kopitar, the guy retiring in around 5 games, maybe. It's brutal, listeners. It's a brutal experience.
Yeah. And then move on to goalies here. I don't know. It's just really slim pickings because a lot of guys, I don't know. There's a lot of teams that are out at this point. That was my first suggestion was it's hard to swallow after last night's game against Nashville, but Askarov, 35%. He's going to see a lot of volume in the stretch. It just Cats leagues, maybe it goes somewhere else. Points leagues, okay. If he gets the wins, it's still exciting. Connor Ingram, to no surprise to me last night, just laid an egg. Not a fan of some of Edmonton's matchups this matchup, but he is the quote starting goaltender. But I think I'd rather see if the Sabres goalies are available. Even after yesterday, UPL 53%, Alex Lyon 40%. I don't know, Jay. I mean, I'm just trying to think of who has interesting. You're going to be able to, I'm sure, find the Seattle goalies, but I don't think I want neither of them are really great right now. I'm sure Colorado's goalies are owned up.
Chasing the narrative, I think Dan Vladar at 53% for Philly is probably the huge value add, because I think we talked
5
about
games.
The standings.
Okay.
Yeah. We talked about the standings before. If Dan, like if they get it done, I know we gave Forrester his plaudits. I know we gave Marone his his credit, but it will be on the back of Dan Vladar. Like they have a negative 4-goal differential right now, Alan, which is crazy. Like after all that explosive scoring, all those guys that we talked about rolling up, they're negative, which indicates they are in right now because they are winning tight ass hockey games, and their goalie and their defense is getting them through. If, like again, you're playing a bit into a narrative here, if, we're buying into it, but if the Flyers end up making it, it's going to be because Vladar has had a few of the games remaining standing on his head.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's on your fantasy team.
And maybe see Carolina. Some of their matchups are nice. They see Chicago, Philly, the Isles again. We'll see, because I think it was the game yesterday where they played against Carolina, I think, where they got lit up. No, it was a close game, actually. Yeah, Hurricanes. So it'll be an interesting rematch.
The other one I was going to suggest, too, is with Skinner out.
I know.
She lost?
So the Penguins have some of the least games, though. And the Jersey, Washington twice. St. Louis. They didn't call up any of the high end guys like Blomqvist or Murashov.
No.
So it'll be
It
yeah.
might just
I'm
be
not interested
Shelovs.
there.
Okay.
Well, they have a back to back in there, and they played
Yeah, they did.
Shelovs again today because of Skinner getting. I think he got hit near the eye or around the eye with the puck. In practice. Yeah, there we go. I think that'll do it, Jay. Now Breadman did ask, and we appreciate you listening, even though your season's done, postseason content. So I don't know what next steps are from here. So a lot of big decisions to make around the structure of the show, what we do with the show. I've actually been talking to TJ. He is still alive. But it's just that we have some calls to make about the future of the show, content wise. But yeah, we'll obviously best way to find out about all that stuff is Discord, Twitter. Get connected there. But we will definitely be back Wednesday for the final shutdown shift of the season to wrap up this final matchup. But yeah, no, thanks everyone tuned in live. Thanks everyone still listening, even if you're not playing, especially. But yeah, we'll see you later and take care of yourselves and each other.
Yeah, good luck in your semis. Round it off well. Good luck in your finals. Anyone still listening? And we'll pick you up later.
Adios, turd nuggets.